It's time to chill out, get your coffee, and get your slip on. This is the Fortean Slip Daily Dose.
Oh, that kid went on a fucking hoot of a fucking adventure. No, trust me, that drug would fucking make you, like, go further than you've ever gone in a masturbatory rage.
And then they see this UFO or whatever it is, this diamond-shaped thing. So, and then 3 helicopters come whizzing in and everything takes off.
I don't know if I buy it, motherfucker. Did Bigfoot come out and tickle somebody's balls? Alright, you hooligans. Fortean Slip Daily Dose starts now.
Yee-hoo, people. Welcome to the Fortean Slip Daily Dose, episode 8. Let's try to fit the triangular UFO in the disc-shaped UFO hole episode. We recently talked about the Rendlesham Forest incident and the Cache Landrum incident on the regular Fortean Slip. Steve's pretty knowledgeable about that. I learned a lot that day. But, I mean, these things have been seen many different incidences. Some people say the Phoenix Lights, although some people say the Phoenix Lights were flares. Like I had stated, the Rendlesham Forest incident and the Cache Landrum incident, which Steve and I seem to think the shape of the craft being very similar might have something to, might be tied in. All of which is speculation on our parts, because we're just jackasses. But I guess there were Kansas and Texas sightings in 2014. That's on Wiki. I don't know how, like, fucking true that is. The Belgian Air Force report. And I do believe there were some sightings on the East Coast. Steve has brought it up before, and I know Steve has done some pretty decent, I won't say investigative work, research into the triangular shaped UFO sightings. I mean, he used to have a pretty huge passion for UFO sightings. But I wanted to bring it up because back in the early 90s or late 80s, I can't remember when it was, I was living in the hamlet of Groveville. For those of you who are unaware how cities, towns, shit breaks down, hamlets are portions of towns. So there's like I lived in the town of Buxton, which had the hamlet of Groveville and a few others as well. And, you know, Buxton's where fucking Red had to go to get the fucking rock, or look under the rock, because he had to go to Zihuatanejo, you know. You ever been to Buxton, Red? But, yeah, so I grew up in Buxton in this little hamlet of Groveville, on a dirt road. It was kind of funny. My parents were together. I lived on a dirt road. My parents got divorced. We stayed with my grandparents for a short period of time. We moved back to Buxton. My mom had met another guy, and we fucking literally wound up on the dirt road, tied into the dirt road that my father lived on. So there were like these 2 dirt roads that made like and then there was another one that crossed the two of them, so it made like an H basically off of the main road. And we literally went a road over on another dirt road. So I lived far enough away from everybody or all of my friends in that area that I had to walk all the time or ride my bike to get into the center of, or what I would call the center of Groveville, where everything was going on. The ball field, the store, all completely different now than what it was when I was a kid. God, I drove through there. It was a while ago that it all changed, but I drove through there, or I drive through there, and I'm just like, wow, holy shit, because it looks completely different than it did when I was a child. And I told the story of my, the incident where I was huffing gas in the ball field on the back, the bench in the back, and it's, fuck, that doesn't look anything at all like it did when that happened. The ball field's been completely redone. But I lived, like I said, I lived far enough away that I was always by myself, walking home or riding home or whatever. And I can't remember exactly the year, and I know I've talked about this story on air before. I'm pretty sure I was leaving from my friend's house right on the corner of the road, Hurland Smith Road and Dunnell Road. So if anybody wants to look up the areas where I grew up, like I said, in Groveville, but it's technically in Buxton. But I grew up off of Dunnell Road. I was living off of Spring Street at the time, because they had a penchant for fucking season names, and they had all the dirt roads were named like winter, autumn, summer. Winter, autumn, and spring. There was no summer. So I'm walking home, and there was an open field right before you get to trees and no houses. But you left the two houses on the end of the road as you were walking up Dunnell Road, and I can't remember what drew my attention up. But something had drawn my attention up, because I didn't hear anything. There was no sound. There was no, like, engine sound. There was no, like, wind sound, no whoosh, no nothing. It just, something drew my attention up. And this, I can't say how big the fucking thing was. For one, I was young. It was a long time ago. My perspective of the incident is probably completely different now, and then as well, than it would be when I was older, more rational person. But I saw this thing, and it was the shape of a triangle. It did not have the lights at the points that everybody sees, the standard. It just was this triangular shape, just blacking out the sky, because I can remember I could see it like blacking out the stars, and as it would move, like they would appear on the back edge of it, and it would black it out in the front. And as it went over the trees, because I was standing like kind of halfway between where the houses are, the fields on the road, and where the tree line would start. And I'm looking up at this thing, and as it went over the trees, of course, it gets far enough over the trees, and then I don't see it anymore. And I was pretty freaked out about it, and like I said, I always had to fucking walk home by myself. I was pretty fucking wigged out about it, but I figured with, Boyd Bushman coming out with his bullshit, and who knows how much of that stuff is true. I mean, I know Steve had found out that some of his claims of who he was and where he worked, etc. were true, but whether or not the other stuff is true, anti-gravity stuff, and who knows, what I saw may have been something related to a government project. I'm not saying that it was a UFO. I'm not saying that it was alien. I'm not saying that it was aliens, but it was aliens. No. I don't know what it was. All I'm trying to do is relay my experience. As with a lot of the things that I've said on this show and the things that have happened to me that I've tried to relay, I don't want to try to make any speculation about it. I don't know what that fucking thing was. I can tell you that I have been to the air shows at the Brunswick Naval Air Station, which is just east of me, I think, up the coast. Yeah, I think so. I have seen bombers come in and fly over. And this thing seemed like it was fairly low. And like I said, even a lot of, aircraft up fairly high, you can still hear the engines on a lot of them. Like I said, I've seen these bombers come in low, and they do go slow. or they seem slow even though they're going really fast. This thing moved like creepily slow, and there was no sound. So, like I said, I don't know what it was. I don't want to try to say, hey, UFO. It's a fucking UFO. You know, it could have been something else. Fucking A, dogs. You guys are like fucking, I let you come in here, and you have to fucking fight behind me? Holy shit. And I don't try to make any speculations about what these things are. I just try to lay it out there as what I saw and what happened to me. I don't know what it was. I know it creeped me out, and I know I had to, like I said, I had to walk home, and I was always the dude that lived far enough away that I had to walk home by myself, and it fucking sucked. Yeah, I just wanted to relay that little story, like I said, in the wake of all the UFO bullshit that we had done lately. And I couldn't remember how much of that story I had told, or how into detail I had gone about what happened. Because, it wasn't that much. I just saw it, fly over or whatever. But it was a pretty interesting experience for me, because I can't recall ever seeing anything like it ever again. Or before that. Besides seeing CGI shit, I don't know what to relate it to. There's some pretty fucked up stuff. That's for damn sure. This has been the Fortean Slip Daily Dose. Episode 8. What do they call it? The let's try to fit a triangular shaped UFO in a disc shaped UFO hole. Something like that. It wasn't all that witty. I'm going to admit that right now. Click the like button. Subscribe. Say something. See you tomorrow, fuckers.